Hello, dear Astro friends. Melanie here on this Monday, the 29th of April. Yes, we are in the Beltane week. Beltane May 1st is coming up in 2 days. Happy Beltane, happy mid-spring, mid-Taurus, the season of joy and green growth and celebration of our earthly embodiment of being on beautiful Mother Earth, enjoying life, and especially the spring. Yes, so what is coming up this week, starting tomorrow, the 30th of April, and going until Monday, May the 6th? Yes, we're in mid-Taurus now, indeed, which Beltane celebrates. Mid-Taurus technically starts on Beltane May 1st and goes to May 9th. So typically 10 days, right, are one decade. In this case, central Taurus with also Taurus undertone. One could argue that this year, mid-Taurus already starts tomorrow, the 30th of April. Okay, I'm getting confused with all of that. Starting tomorrow, April the 30th, because we have a leap year. So anytime now we're shifting from the Capricorn undertone of early Taurus to the double Taurus of mid Taurus. So it's even more about joy. It's about values, right? So Taurus is a lot about values. What do we value in life, and how can we manifest and attract more of that? Speaking of attraction, Venus is freshly in Taurus now too, since today, and that started this morning, the 29th of April, and goes till May 23rd. Typically, 4 weeks is the sequence of Venus in one sign. So, yes, we have about 4 weeks in Taurus, and that's what Venus rules, right? Venus rules Taurus and Libra. The earthy side of Venus is, of course, the Taurian side, very sensual, and again, into all anything that brings us joy, comfort, and also a good grounding, right? So it can have to do with cooking, can have to do with gardening, can have to do with sensual delights of all sorts. And yeah, it's a very fertile energy, quite a growth oriented energy. Just look at plants, right? Just look at plants and all the beautiful blossoms they now create, and the fragrance they give off. So all the senses are open and invited to enjoy the intake. Venus in Taurus. As Venus is in Taurus, she will, though, make a square with Pluto in early Aquarius. That will be the case tomorrow, right after entering, right? So tomorrow, Tuesday, Venus will square Pluto. And then there's a bit of a break from the Venus aspects until May the 7th, just before the new moon. She will join the new moon club. So, but the Venus square Pluto, so here's some conflict, some contrast, but also lots of energy is generated with a square. In this case, Venus in her own sign and Pluto in the sign that is in a way least favored by Pluto. Pluto is exalted in Leo and in fall in Aquarius. So the extreme, like Pluto brings up extremes, and one extreme of Pluto in Aquarius could be with all the technology and all the AI. At some point, I call it the end of humanity as we know it. So, what's going on with societal, technological, systemic changes and evolution? And does that contrast your natural, organic groundedness here in on planet Earth? Also, the pace, right? Taurus is rather slow, and Aquarius can be accelerated through technology, right? So um, stay stay grounded in it all while and enjoy life in spring while so much change is happening at the same time. But I had a good example of a beautiful connection of the two. I reconnected with a friend today whom I hadn't seen in a while, and so very Taurian, right? So we had a beautiful, enjoyable visit, and as friends, right? Aquarius, right? And I find also, since Pluto's been now in Aquarius since April 20th, almost fully, not quite. Pluto will go once more back to Capricorn September 1st till November 19th, and that's it. And then from November 19th, Pluto will be fully in Aquarius for the next 19 years. And so, ever since Pluto's been now in Aquarius, I found also big contrasts and I should say, yeah, extreme, not, I wouldn't say extremes, but big contrasts in terms of the social arena, friendships, and so on, right? So with some, you really feel the beautiful flow and beautiful soul connection, that it doesn't matter that you haven't seen each other in a few years. And with others, it's just not sustainable, or you're not on the same page anymore or ever, right? And so also being okay with the changes in the social world, in the world of friendship. But of course, we need community more than ever. And let's see, in this case, with Venus now active, where is the joy that is the glue that brings us together, right? Doing beautiful, enjoyable things, which I also did on a weekend with dancing and new friendships and so on. So, what else is going on this week? Also, a big shift tomorrow from the Mars side. Mars goes into its own sign as well. Venus in her own sign as of today, and Mars in its own sign of Aries as of tomorrow. Big shift, both from Venus having come out of Aries, right, and going into Taurus. There can be still some residues of that whole feisty feminine, right, but slowly settling and being more grounded and more just at ease, and yeah, all about joy. Then from the Mars side as well, big shift, coming out of rather passive uh, Pisces into very active and forward and vitalizing Aries, right? So Aries brings new vitality, brings new yeah, a zest for life, right? And desires to do something. And it can, like again with Aries and Mars, accelerate things, but in a way that is a good movement, because a good trend, because things could have been very much on hold with Mars in Pisces and also with Jupiter in Taurus, which can also have this effect of things are super slow. You have to wait for things forever, right? So Mars in Aries really shifts things and will be in Aries for a while, as typically Mars is for about 2 months this time until June the 8th. So I would say like 6-7 weeks. And yeah, Martian warrior in its own sign every 2 years. Then on May 1st, yes, Beltane. Beltane is on, mid-May is on. Let's celebrate. Maybe there is Beltane ceremony somewhere you'd like to join. Again, Venus in Taurus, Pluto in Aquarius, community, and celebration of our life on Earth. And Mother Earth's beautiful offerings and resilience that we can learn so much from. Then on May 2nd, so see, every day something's happening this week until May 2nd. So May 2nd, Thursday, Pluto will change directions. Pluto will be the first longer term retrograde planet this year because we had Mercury retro. But otherwise, since Uranus went out of retro end of January, we had a retro-free phase. And yes, we had Mercury retro just recently up to the 25th. And Mercury is coming out of its post-retro storm, that also rather slow turnaround energy, coming out of that on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And so things can move and get more momentum there mentally and also energetically. And when it comes to doing something, pursuing what really brings newness, or maybe literally what we want and haven't been able to do in a while, with Mars in Aries and Mercury out of retro storm, out of post retro storm, also in Aries. That's, as I said, from May 5th on. Then, as I said, the second and first long-term planet going retro will be Pluto, starting on May the 2nd and going until October the 11th. That's the typical pattern these years. Pluto has been typically retro end of April, early May until early mid-October. So we have now a phase where we need to even more so source power from within and also go back at old stories and old experiences from the past, where we see patterns around maybe giving power away, especially in Aquarian context. That Pluto will be in until September 1st in the retro mode now, soon. So where have we given power away in Aquarian context? So that means also with friends, in groups, in society, right? In systems. And what are the patterns about that? How can we turn this around and come back to our intrinsic power, our core, our essence, that from Aquarius' perspective is all about we're all equal. We're all equal human beings, and we all have the same desires and aspirations to be free and to be maybe united and have a good life as humans here, right? And contribute something. That's always very Aquarian. How is it going with your contributions? How powerful are your contributions? With Pluto in Aquarius, it doesn't matter so much that you see the effects of what you contribute. It's typically goodwill and the intention for making the world a better place. And it doesn't necessarily mean you directly see the effects, right? So we all contribute to this whole bigger change that's underway, and we all benefit from it as well, right? So one for all for one, and it's all about all one community, one world community, if you will, even family, right? We don't want to be too idealistic. So treating another human like with the respect they deserve, right? Whether you literally feel, hey brother, hey sister, may or may not be the case, but we're all humans on our journey, and we have so much more in common than what divides us. And so Venus, as I said, will be in square with Pluto, as Pluto is just about to turn retrograde. So going into looking into old patterns and seeing how can we come back to our soul source that is always empowered, and and feeling the change from within, cultivating change from within. And then there won't be any planetary shift for a few days, for a while actually. The next astro event will be the Taurus new moon on May 7th, in mid to end of it, 18 degrees of Taurus, and it will come with Uranus, and there will be a lot of Taurus energy, right? So Venus, Sun, Moon, Uranus, and still Jupiter. Very Taurian, very grounded, energy really shifting there. So it's good that we have also some balancing factors like Mars going into Aries. And quick preview of that Taurus, of that super Taurus new moon, just to give you a sense of what it's going to look like. And next week we can talk about it a bit more. So here it is, right? See, there's so much going on in Taurus on that new moon. So if you have anything mid Taurus, if your birthday is in fact close to the 7th of May, this is definitely a very strong impulse or stimulation and seed for new beginnings and for initiating especially everything that has to do with the Jupiter Uranus piece that gets very energized through that new moon. And so Jupiter is about trust and hope and expansion. Things are getting better, and even slowly but surely with Taurus. And Uranus is a lot about liberation and freedom. So sometimes it also helps to have a better understanding and new insights and perspective. All of that is Taurus, right? To see things in a different light, that can be a paradigm shift in a Uranian way, right? So being open to those, and that also show you something about what you value, how you have a security, and things like that. Because nowadays, with all the food of cost of living crisis affecting food, affecting everything, so security and yeah, and also the value, literally value of the dollar, right? So many Taurus has to do with money as well, right? Has been very disrupted and uncertain, right? So what can help to understand this better and to be feel more personally secure? And from a Pluto and Aquarius perspective, how can we also come together in community to support each other, right, in all of this? Then, so that new moon is in the making, and it can be a game changer because of the Jupiter Uranus effect that comes with it. Now, what's up with the, speaking of new moon, what's coming up, what's up with the moon this week? The moon is now in Capricorn, very solid, very grounded, very no nonsense, down to business, down to what matters most, priorities, and solid, right? Capricorn is solid, especially in combination with Taurus Sun, right? And that's good. So let's do what works best and what brings us joy, and where we don't need to stress, right? What's sustainable? That's very apropos Taurus and especially Capricorn. Then the moon will go, though, into Aquarius tomorrow morning at 8:29 a.m. and will be in Aquarius over Beltane, and also into May the 2nd at 11:52 a.m. So then we have Taurus Aquarius again in combination, as I said, also with Venus tomorrow evening. So again, here's the dynamic between nature, if you will, or preserving, conserving, conservative energy versus and progressive energy, innovation, and evolution, right? So moon in Aquarius also needs, right? The moon shows us also where our needs tend to be. And with Aquarius, we need community, we need friends, we need like-minded people, we need real humans to relate to be fed and nourished in that regard, to be understood, and to belong from the moon perspective to humanity, right, and not be an outsider. And then the moon goes into Pisces on Thursday around noon. We'll be in Pisces on Friday the 3rd until Saturday at the 4th at 1:41 p.m. May the 4th, yes. And so moon in Pisces will activate again Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. And so that piece is a lot about, with Pisces, it's a lot about connection, it's about flow, it's about being at ease. And yet with Saturn, we need to also look at energetic boundaries, right? So, where do we need to protect ourselves from all sorts of influences? And that can have to do with the media, can have to do with certain vibes, with certain energy fields that are not conducive for us, and not be overwhelmed, right? That would be a theme with Neptune, especially. So, Moon in Pisces, yes, a beautiful time for music, for dance, for anything that keeps us more in flow and in different vibration, right? That also um, helps with our brain waves. And then the moon will go into Aries on May the 4th in at 1:41, lots of ones and fours and stuff. And we'll be in Aries all day Sunday as well, which will be actually, by the way, Cinco de Mayo and also Orthodox Easter. Seems to be really late this year, or long after the regular Christian, I don't know how to call it, the Western Christian Easter. Okay, and this will be Orthodox Easter Sunday, and on Friday will be Orthodox Easter, or Orthodox Good Friday. And the moon will be in Aries on Sunday and on Monday until 2:42 p.m. Monday the 6th we're talking about now. Then she goes into Taurus. And at that time, the moon is already in the dark before a new phase. So it's about releasing, right? It's all about allowing, in this case, especially the Aries energy. And I'm thinking of Chiron in Aries, right? And also Mars in Aries by that time, to be absorbed, right? And to go back to where it came from, right? That's the dark moon energy. Send it back if it had its course, if it ran its course, if it had its phase, especially Aries energy that's not healthy, too much warfare, too much aggression, too much competition, too much stress, too much go, 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 and all of that, to let that go and to allow things to come together again in a Taurian way, in a more smelling the roses way, right? Life is here to be enjoyed and to bring more goodness to it rather than more fighting, right? We don't need to fight with each other, fight for territory, fight for survival, fight for um, power over and resistance and all this kind of stuff. So, can we come to a more peaceful place, but also have a good expression for the Aries energy otherwise, right? You can just scrap Aries altogether. What does Aries want? It's a very self assertive energy, and it also primarily wants to be authentic and is very present and very direct and fast, right? So have a good outlet for that. And that can be sport, especially anything athletic is very Aries, and now much more supported with Mars in Aries. And but also be authentic, right? And that might cost you some fake relationships, but fake. Do you want fake anyway, right? Shadow of Libra, and that's where the South Node is currently, right? So we want to move away from fake and more towards authenticity. And yeah, lastly, I have an offer coming up in on May 1st to the 11th. As every year, it's special for moms, of course, at the build up for Mother's Day. It's what I call the Astro Spa for moms. So all moms get a 22% discount on my sessions, and that can be also as a gift certificate for a mom, right? So take me up on it if you feel called, and we don't have to book the session by May 11th, but we can arrange. I look forward to seeing you again in real life for that or online. And yeah, you can find information about all these shifts on my Astro News blog. The article for Venus in Taurus is up. The one for Mars into Aries is coming, and Beltane as well, and Pluto retro, and the new moon. They're all coming over this week. Everything gets done, is the expression of the earth, in perfect timing. And so I wish you well. I wish you a beautiful week, and happy Beltane. See you again soon.